for Mr. Jack Gaff.
Now, I'm aware that this makes me look quite unprofessional, but bear in mind this is not notes, it's a suicide note, just in case this all goes horribly wrong. And I always open with that joke because invariably I leave everything to the last minute and I'm not as prepared as I would like to be. But then, today, I found out, when I could have been putting in more effort preparing, that Janine Garofalo, who you might remember from the 7th season of West Wing, when she does her stand-up, always has a notebook on stage. So, and she was in, you know, a critically panned and commercially unsuccessful short-lived spin-off of Criminal Minds called Criminal Minds Suspect Behaviour. So, I mean, there's hope for me yet. Pseudo-apology retracted. So, my girlfriend of 5 years dumped me recently because she'd been cheating on me with a friend of mine. Now, I know that's not how most people would open their set, you know, hit you with the all-consuming sadness and heartfelt melancholy so as to win you over from the get-go. But it did happen, and it was understandably upsetting. And the only silver lining I could find in any of it was that for the 5 months when they'd been trying to sleep together, when they'd been attempting to bump uglies, they had failed to do so because he has erectile dysfunction. And that's a pretty good silver lining, right? I mean, it's hard to take being dumped well, let alone being dumped for someone else, let alone being dumped for someone who you thought was your friend, but he has erectile dysfunction. And I thought that was a great silver lining. You know, it's kind of like, oh yes, his name's Jackson, by the way, because I hate him. And that's true. So, look him up. And, you know, and it's a good silver lining, because you can kind of go like, oh yes, I see you, my heartbreak, Jackson, and raise you your floppy dick. Not raise. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was an amazing silver lining. I was like, yes, I got a first-class ticket on the Public Embarrassment Express, destination Flaccid Town. But then it dawned on me that I'd been dumped for a guy with erectile dysfunction. That means that she would rather be not having sex with him than having sex with me. You know how demoralizing that is? I can't even comprehend it, because it's like riding a stallion for 5 years and then deciding you'd rather try and fuck a dead horse. I'm the stallion in that metaphor. And that's as dark as it gets. I've worked through it, I'm over it. Okay, lighter materials. So, the Islamic riots on the weekend. Hearing about that made me really sad, because that just gives fodder to all this anti-Islamic sentiment that's in Australian culture already. And you know that there'll be racist rednecks out there who'll be like, oh, you know, we grew here, you flew here. And I fucking hate that phrase, because it's illogical. I feel like if you say we grew here, you flew here, you need to then add the caveat, we grew here, you flew here. Well, technically, we sailed here, but because I'm Anglo-Saxon, that makes me think that my family's probably been here longer than yours, hence the assertion that we grew here. But I guess no one really grew here except perhaps the indigenous Australians. But even then, they migrated from Africa overland about 45,000 years ago. So, you know, and that's one of the few things that all humankind has in common, including me and you. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is, I don't like the colour of your skin. And I hate you for that reason. Okay, it's been a bumpy ride so far, but bear with me. It was my dad's birthday yesterday. He turned 52, I think. And you know, when you get to your 50s, it's kind of like, well, you're a ticking time bomb. You know? He's not the fittest guy, he's pretty fat, he drinks a lot. Like, you know, cardiac arrest is just around the corner. So I wrote him a birthday email. Oh, because he's overseas, I'm not just some heartless son that would, you know, think, oh, I could bring Dad, or I could go visit him, but, you know, next best thing in this day and age. So here's the email I wrote him. Dearest father, It has come to my attention that on this day you are, lamentably, yet another year older. Whilst normally this would be cause for much celebration, you know, as well as I do, that this is merely mortal folly, laughing in the face of death as we inexorably shuffle towards the grave. As such, I trust that you have safeguarded yourself against any potential threats by barricading yourself in your hotel room and refusing to leave. This is a wise choice. Yours gravely, your son, Jack. To which he responded, "Dear Jack, why do you have to be so weird?" "Thank you, I guess. I'll see you when I get back. Love, Dad."